attention to the nation. Thank you, sir.
Father, we come to you, Lord, this evening, God. We just thank you so much, Father, for just the blessing of this day. And Father, I ask that, God, as we gather here this evening, God, to conduct business for the Pawnee Business Council, Father, I ask that you please just help each and every one of us that is here with us tonight. Lord, may we make decisions, God, that is honoring and pleasing to you. Father, that will be for the benefit and, Father, for the value of our tribal members' lives, God. And so, Lord, I just pray once again for the family members of those who have lost loved ones, God, here recently. Those who have lost loved ones this past year, Heavenly Father, as we come into this Christmas time of year. Father, I just pray for comfort and peace for them, God. And Lord, I just ask you, Father, please just continue just to remind us, God, what this time of year means, Father, as we celebrate the birth of our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. We thank you, Father, for him and what he has done and accomplished for us. And so, Lord, I just again pray that you bless this time we have together. Lord, may your Holy Spirit, God, guide us, Father, and direct us, Lord, and be with us tonight. So, Lord, I pray for all of our tribal members, from the youngest to the eldest, God, that you would just please watch over them, bless them, Lord. Help those who are carrying burdens tonight, Father, that only you know of. And so, God, we just again pray for our meeting tonight, Lord, that everything goes well. We give it to you, God, and we pray and ask, God, that your will be done. And we just thank you for this food that's been provided as well. We ask a blessing upon it, and we just thank you for the provision of it. We give all this now into your hands. It's in your Son, Jesus Christ's name we pray. Amen.
Thank you, Vice President. And could you lead us through the line, sir? And our guests, as well as Chief Leading Fox and staff, please get something to eat, and we'll follow you along.
Test, test, 1, 2.
Hello, I can hear you. You can have everybody in there now.
Can you hear me?
Test,
I
test.
can hear you too.
James, can you hear us?
Yeah, I can hear you too. I heard both of you. I can hear people.
Brian, can you hear us?
Who?
Yeah, I can hear y'all.
Okay, now we can't hear them
Starts at 3
in here.
So it lasts till about 6:30, 6:45. But at 3 o'clock to 5 o'clock.
Test, test.
And if you give me time during the
Brian, can you hear us?
is that agenda item for
Yes, I can hear y'all.
Okay. I'm guessing you can hear us, but we can't hear you yet.
I don't think we're ready for that. I don't think we have.
This doesn't have a. Oh, there you are, Jamie. On this one up here, 1006.
So far, we've received 1,900.
11:30 on Wednesday. Yeah. So the, here.
1,900.
So what we're gonna do is we're gonna, and that's for the party.
Yeah, that's the donations we've received so far.
We have anticipation of receiving,
We received some more today.
yeah, 4,000. So we'll have to do another budget monitor. It would kind of be nice to just do it all at once. But it's okay. We'll have to do another budget mon, to add what's remaining, because we had some checks coming today.
Oh, so we don't know if this,
So we can
That's
table
not
that
all.
if you like.
well, let's
Yeah,
table
let's
it then.
table it. That way we don't have to come
Yeah,
back.
well, let me just say this one is. 'cause we
Test,
still
test.
have-
Brian, can you hear us?
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, I can hear
question
y'all.
mark.
I don't know if y'all can hear us.
Okay.
We
Hey Brian,
can't hear him in here.
Yeah,
okay, I don't think they can hear us out there. I'm in the kitchen on my laptop. We
okay.
can hear, hold on.
But we can hear y'all and everybody talking in the background.
Let me go get mine.
Okay, I don't think they can hear you right now.
So guys on Teams, we're trying to get you played here so that way everybody in person can hear you as well.
Jamie. Okay, on this one right here,
Here, I'm gonna get tickets for me.
to cover health insurance. I don't see it on there.
The executive office, we're adding $831.99 into subscriptions for the Chamber of Commerce.
But it says 5,068.
That's not correct. This is how much we're adding right here.
Okay, so that's not correct.
Correct.
The thing that you
But
and
wait
Charlie
now.
don't.
To,
So you're gonna.
Test, test. Brian, can you hear us? Or can you talk to see if we can hear you in here?
Check, check,
Yes,
mic
I
check.
can hear y'all. Can y'all hear me?
Chamber of Commerce, the Pawnee Chamber of Commerce.
Test, test.
Oh, at the employee? Yeah. Oh, okay. At the very end. They wanted,
so,
Because that'll be the last chance to give them away, so.
I hear you now. Sound like he's eating Pringles or something.
Can y'all hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, I don't
Can y'all
think
hear
they can
us?
I don't think they can hear you out there.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, if anything, I guess we can.
I guess just type your
Yeah.
type
guess
in
we
the chat box. And Jamie will get y'all's comments.
Be our
or-
translator.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
Oh, she's obviously working on something.
Good evening, everyone. Okay, so let us commence with our business for the evening while we're finishing up with our meal. I want to thank the staff for making this good food available to us and our guests tonight. And if I may, I'd like to call on Secretary Gardapi to call the roll, if you would, please, sir.
Walter Eckhart,
Tita Ku.
Jordan Canuho, here. George Gardapi here. Carol Chapman.
Here.
Cynthia Butler.
Here.
Donna Hare.
Titaku.
Gene Evans.
Here.
Sammy Kimball.
Here.
Excellent. We do have a quorum. So the first item is to approve the agenda. And I understand that we have some new additions. Is that correct?
Yes, sir. We have several additions. First, under new business, number 1, we're going to have discussion and/or action on the Charlotte Council meeting. And then we're going to add number 9, under new business, approval of resolution 2284, new members. And then number 10 is approval of resolution 2285, deceased members. Number 11, approval of resolution 2286, conditional relinquishment. Number 12 is approval of resolution 2287, conditional relinquishment. And then number 13 is approval of resolution 2288, conditional relinquishment. And then number 14 will be the approval of resolution 2289, intertribal Buffalo Council membership and dues. And then following that, we are going to be adding, which will actually be number 16, approval of resolution 2290, election commission chair appointment. And then following that, number 17 is approval of resolution 2291, election commission secretary appointment. And then finally, number 18 was the approval of resolution 2292, election commission sergeant at arms appointment. And those are the additions.
Okay. So unless any other members have any other items to add, I'm looking for a motion to approve.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
Thank you. We have a motion and a second. Call for the vote, please, sir.
Jordan Canuho,
Yes.
George Gardapi, yes. Carol Chapman,
Yes.
Cynthia Butler,
Yes.
Donna Hare,
Aho.
Gene Evans,
Yes.
Sammy Kimball.
Yes.
Thank you, council. Motion carries. We have our agenda. And first item up with new business is to hear from Chief Leading Fox regarding a proposed the Sherrill Council meeting with the Business Council, a joint meeting. Sir, the floor is yours, and welcome and good evening.
Good evening. Good evening. Thank you for giving this time. We had a Charlotte Council meeting Saturday, so I just wanted to kind of, formally do this, and we decided to try to have a joint meeting with you all in discussion of the community feed, and we're looking at maybe late March, early April. So I think the meeting is tentatively scheduled for January 21st at 10 a.m. at the Law Enforcement Center. So I just, like I said, I'm just following the formalities of our bylaws to be put on the agenda here and formally, request a joint meeting from you all.
On that date?
On that date, yes.
Okay. Well, thank you for that, sir. Excuse me. Council, what are your thoughts on this proposed joint meeting?
President,
Sir?
I know the first meeting we had together was, I would assume it was an informal meeting that we had. Was that correct, when we first planned it?
Yeah, I think.
So I'm assuming this will be the same type, right?
Yes, it will be. It just be to both councils
Okay.
together.
January 21, that's on a Saturday. What time did you have? I proposed, because I see on my calendar is our Constitution Convention from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. on that date. Does that still hold?
I thought it was on the 14th. I think that's why we pushed it back to the 21st.
I wonder about the possibility of, it's still there? Okay, so we could meet. That's clear.
There is no Constitution Convention meeting on that day.
So that's a clear date? Man, I can't keep track of these dates. Okay, so it looks like, and again, you said at 10 a.m.?
Yes, sir.
Okay, first let me ask council, does that, can we make that meeting, folks? January 21 at 10 a.m., it's a Saturday.
I'm available.
President, I may have to be excused early, like noonish, one-ish. I
Okay,
think. I'm trying to get some validation for that right now, but yes,
Okay.
of course.
okay. Dr. Evans? Okay. Donna, Cynthia? Okay, it looks like it's clear for everyone, so unless there's any objection from the council, I would say let's do it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Okay. The spring dinner, spring feast. All right. Next item up, we have a number of budget committee recommendations. So, Carol, if I may turn this over to you, our treasurer, please.
Okay. All right, the first one we have is program 1053, and this is a $3,000 donation from the Mitzmeyer donation. Mitzmeyer, I guess they have donated to us a long time, and this is being put in ICW for assistance. $3,000 is where it was best thought to place it in services.
Yes, I would just add that Ellen Mintzmeyer lives in Atlanta, Georgia, and has been donating money this time each year for the past 3 years. And we had worked out a very wonderful arrangement with Amanda Farron and the Indian Child Welfare Program, who identifies our Pawnee children who are in the most need. And this money goes to that program to get Christmas presents for these kids, you know, and so it's just a wonderful thing, and I think it's very uplifting kind of a gesture on her part, you know, so I just wanted to add that. Folks, any questions or comments to Carol, please?
I just want to say thank you. Yeah.
Okay. That is very, very wonderful this time of year. So if there are no more questions, I'll go ahead and make a motion to approve.
I'll second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Call for the vote, please, sir.
President.
Oh, yes, I'm sorry.
Just
go
for
ahead.
clarity, so is this for presents, or I know it's in the utilities assistance line item there. I mean, are these going to help with?
It's for presents.
It is going to be for
Yeah.
presents?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, any other comments? Call for the vote, please, sir.
Jordan Canuho,
Yes.
George Gardapi, yes. Carol Chapman,
Yes.
Cynthia Butler,
Yes.
Donna Hare, Gene Evans,
Yes.
Sammy Kimball.
Yes.
Thank you, council. Motion carries, and thanks again to Ellen Mintzmeyer. Okay. And at this point, let the record reflect that Secretary Gardapi is excused for a family doing this evening for his daughter. And I guess under our ways here, then our Treasurer Chapman will be our secretary.
I'll do double.
Okay, double duty to,
Thank you.
double duty for
Thank
Carol.
you, guys. I'm sorry.
Yes, and best wishes to you and your family, George, for this evening. You are dismissed and excused, sir.
Did you leave me my, do you have your little form? Yeah. Oh, okay, I'll use this then. All right.
All right, so the next item, Carol, is approval of 1067-302 in-bridge park lights budget.
Yes, this is also a donation from the Inbridge Foundation, I guess, and I am unfamiliar with them. Jamie might know a little more about it, but it has been transferred into ICD, to DNRS to pay for, it's transferred from DNRS to ICDGB to pay for the lights.
Is this at the park?
I'm assuming it's that park, that project.
Oh, awesome, okay. Any comment or questions, folks?
If there's none, I'll call for the motion.
I'll second.
Thank you. We have a motion and a second to approve this matter. Any further discussion? Call for the vote, Carol.
Okay, let me switch my hat here. Okay. George Gardapi is excused. Trying to read his writing here. Carol Chapman, yes. Cynthia Butler,
Yes.
Donna Hare,
I hope.
Sammy,
Yes.
Dr. Evans.
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you, council. Motion carries.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Vice
Forgot the-
President?
The second most important here. Vice President.
Yes.
No, everybody's looking at me now.
Getting all left out tonight.
I'm leaving.
Did I hurt your feelings? I didn't mean to. Okay, motion carries.
Thank you, council. Next item is approval of 1006-506 Pawnee Nation Liquor Control Commission Budget Mod Number 1. Carol?
Yes. This is for $1,500, and it's donations that they are making, and 1,000 of it is going to be donated to the Christmas Bike and Board Games Party to be held here, is it tomorrow? Tomorrow?
Yes.
And it's a local community event. That's 1,000 to it. And then they want to award one scholarship to an individual in college, trade school, or certificate program. So that's one applicant for the $1,500 in this budget.
Thank you. Any questions or comments, council?
I'll go ahead and make the motion.
I'll second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Thank you for that. Call for the vote, if you would, please.
Yes. Jordan Canuho,
Yes.
Georgia Gardapi,
Absent.
okay, absent. Carol Chapman, yes. Cynthia Butler,
Yes.
Donna Hare,
I hope.
Gene Evans,
Yes.
Sammy Kimball.
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you, council. Motion carries. Next item up is approval of 1017 Hukasa Budget Mod Number 1. Carol?
Yes, this is like a grant, and it was an online application that was filled out by Miss Baker, who works at the Hukasa Center, and she received funding of $22,000 from Child Care Stabilization Grant. And this is putting the money in, and it's the money will be used for travel and training, and they are sending a large number of their staff to Oregon in June to the National Association for the Education of Young Children Conference. Well, they'll be getting a lot of training on how to take care of the youth. So I was real proud of her for
Wow.
Just filling out an
Boy,
application
that's
and getting that.
We have a budding grant writer.
We sure do.
That's
Gosh,
awesome.
that's great. I commend to our little employee for doing that.
You
So, does anybody have any questions? Okay, hearing none, I'll make a motion. So, Jordan Canuho?
I'll second.
Oh, yeah, I guess it needs a second. They already jumped into my other hat real quick. Okay, I'll call, Jordan Canuho?
Yes.
George is absent, and Carol Chapman, yes. Cynthia Butler?
Yes.
Donna Hare? Gene Evans?
Yes.
Sammy Kimball?
Yes.
Thank
Okay.
you, council. Motion carries. Next item up, and also thanks to our wonderful employee for this, making this happen. Approval of, next up is approval of 1006-109 PBC budget mod number 7.
I think Cynthia's going to present on that.
I'll go ahead and, it also gives me the opportunity to let everybody know what was brought in for the Christmas party that will take place tomorrow. So we did raise $5,150 and for this event. But we 1,000 of it came from the Nasharo Council, and we will be spending that out of their budget. So what we were going to deposit into the PBC account is $4,150 in donations. And that will be all to buy for the bikes that they are purchasing this evening. But we don't have all of that in yet. We got a lot of the checks today. So my request is to table, I'll make a motion to table this budget mod and bring it back so we can get all of those in and that calculated to deposit into the account.
Is there a second? Is that a motion,
I'll second.
Cynthia? Okay, so we have a motion to table for the reasons given by Councilwoman Butler. Any comment? Hearing none. Call for the vote, please, Carol.
Jordan Canuho?
Yes.
George Gardapi, absent. Carol Chapman, yes. Cynthia Butler?
Yes.
Donna Hare? Gene Evans?
Yes.
Sammy Kimball?
Yes.
Thank you, council. Motion carries. Looking forward to this tomorrow.
President Echohawk,
Yes.
we didn't have a second on, oh, did she? Okay,
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Carol.
Thank you. Okay, so next up then is approval of 1007-100 Executive Office Budget Mod number 4.
Okay. This one is for the amount, we're adding $831.99 to cover the health insurance line item in administrative. And this money came from the fundraising event that the tribe held in coordination with the city of Pawnee during October, the haunted house event, and they raised, the groups together raised this money, and this is our share, the Pawnee share, $831.99 that is being deposited into this line item. That's what that's for.
Wow.
Yeah, yeah.
Any comments, questions, folks?
Oh, that's right, subscriptions, yeah, specifically.
Thank you, Jamie. Any other comments, clarifications, or questions?
I'll call for the vote. I'll make a motion.
I'll second.
My other.
We have a motion.
You guys, I'm going back and forth here.
Is there a second?
Confusing
I'll
me.
second.
Thank you. Thank you. We have a motion from Treasurer Chapman and a second
Now-
by Councilwoman Butler. Call for the vote, please.
Okay, all right. And now Mr. Gardapi. Okay. Jordan Canuho.
Yes.
George Gardapi, absent. Carol Chapman, yes. Cynthia Butler.
Yes.
Donna Hare. Gene Evans.
Yes.
And Sammy Kimball.
Yes.
Thank you, council. Motion carries. So that takes care of our budget committee recommendations. So let us move on to the next item, which is discussion and/or action on United Indian Nations of Oklahoma membership dues. And who is going to present on that? Would that be you, Donna? Or?
I'm not sure. At the last council meeting, I think there was some discussion, but I don't know if there was really any decision made. I would really like to see us join as a Pawnee Nation and not just individuals, because I feel there's more power, there's more votes, and it's supporting this organization that's, getting going again. And it's 4,000, I believe, for the
4,000 versus if we did it individually. So
Yeah.
that was the discussion. There's a great difference in cost, so
Yeah.
it's just up to the council to decide which one you want to do.
Let me ask this, if I may, do we have money available? This is sort of a year-end expenditure that we would be doing? And if,
I believe there's money in the budget.
There's money, it's just, do we
just-
want to pay that much for it?
Yeah.
It's up to the council, which
yeah,
makes a good point.
It really is up to the council. I guess I'm straddling the fence, but I think it is, it's kind of embarrassing, to have individual memberships. It's like we're cheaping out, and if we can afford it, it would support the organization, and we have been trying to support it, so, but it's certainly up to the council.
Don, how many votes would you get out of that membership?
Do you remember, Carol? I
It's
think
100, isn't it? Isn't it 100?
Wow.
100 votes?
Okay.
Quite a few.
So that kind of balances those individual, that gives a tribe more power than the individual members. Okay. Yeah, I would recommend if, we've got it in the budget to go ahead and join as Pawnee Nation. I will make that motion.
Thank you. We have a motion from Councilwoman Hare. Is there a second?
I just have a question. President Carter.
Sammy, floor is yours.
Donna, what is the benefit, if it's just getting off the ground again, it kind of died a little bit, right, that crew, that team, if you will, and now they're kind of breathing some life into it, and I'd like to know what the benefit of spending $4,000 is.
The benefit would be banding together with the other tribes on the national issues that we're dealing with and the state issues.
And how many tribes today are involved, just off the
I
cuff?
believe there's 21.
21 tribes here within the
in-
state?
Yeah, out of
Okay.
39, or
Okay.
there may be 22.
Okay, thank you.
Did we have a second? Do we have a second?
I will second.
Okay. So we have a motion on the floor and a second. Folks, any further discussion on this?
I have a question.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
Just, if we do this, what would we be left with in that? I guess it would be the subscription line item for that.
James?
$12,500.
So that's 8.5.
So, also too, James, could you see as well as far as, did we spend that whole last year, I guess? I mean, if we didn't really touch it, then it makes sense just to go ahead and do it. But if we were kind of almost to the end of it this year, it'd be kind of something to know. Does that make sense? Did that make sense?
That was my question.
Yeah.
President Egelhawk, was when are the dues due? I know that we attended this last, meeting, but when are those dues actually due every year? If we pay it now, then are we going to have to pay it in the next couple of months?
Right.
Would it be
Good question.
beneficial to just wait until
Yeah.
next year?
Good
Donna?
question.
Yeah.
They're due
They're due in November.
this last November, and it would cover,
annual,
would it cover the end of this year?
Yes, it'll
So-
go for a year,
Oh, for a 1 year? So
for a year.
Okay. I would just add, we have a fairly anti-Indian climate here in Oklahoma, and it's certainly going to take, I think, careful attention and intertribal cooperation to navigate through that. Governor Stitt was just reelected for another 4-year term, and I just feel like it would be prudent to try to support this organization to the extent that we're able.
I think that was because COVID, I mean, just not participating in person and stuff, that it was low.
Okay, so we have a motion and a second. Any further comment? Call for the vote, please, Carol.
Jordan Canuho,
Yes.
George Carter P. absent, Carol Chapman, yes. Cynthia Butler,
Yes.
Donna Hare,
Aho.
Gene Evans,
Yes.
Sammy Kimball.
Yes.
Thank you, council. Motion carries. Next item is approval of Resolution 22-79, Pawnee Chamber of Commerce Board appointment. And who's going to present on that, folks?
So the council, I'm sorry, the Chamber of Commerce came to Pawnee Nation, and they are requesting a board member to sit on their board, and they would like a Pawnee Nation member to be sitting there. So I think it was whenever we had our Chamber of Commerce meeting at the museum, the PBC members that were there, we huddled up and talked about it. They came up with a name, and that's how it was discussed. And then, so that we said we'd come here and talk with everybody else and see if they would like that as well. But they are wanting a Pawnee Nation member on their board, which I thought was fantastic.
And who did we have in mind for that?
It was Councilwoman Butler, Cynthia Butler, I'm so sorry. And the deadline to do this is December 31st. That's when the Chamber of Commerce needs a name.
Thank you for that, Executive Director Gober Littleson. Folks, any questions, comments, or concerns on this item?
I just had one. Is there a membership for the chamber, or is this just an...
Yeah, so we're joining the chamber with $1,000 a year membership.
Okay.
But we're waiting until next year to do it.
Oh, so we're getting in kind of free, I guess?
Yes.
Okay, all right.
Yes, because I'd like a private seat.
Okay.
How long is this term?
4 years.
Okay.
Folks, any other questions on this? Looking for a motion to approve.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
Thank you, Dr. Evans, for your motion, and Vice President Canuho for his second. Any further discussions, folks? Call for the vote, please. Treasurer Chapman.
Jordan Canuho,
Yes.
George Carter P. absent, Carol Chapman, yes. Cynthia Butler,
Abstain.
Donna Hare,
Aho.
Gene Evans,
Yes.
Sammy Kimball.
I have a problem with the terms of 4 years because if Cynthia's not sitting on this council, I don't know how that's going to benefit us. Are you running? That's the question that I have. You know, it's if we have a council member that's on the board, I think that's very beneficial to us. But if that person rolls off and is not on council, to me, it leaves a gap. Just my thought. So,
Donna?
What usually would happens in those situations is somebody on the council, if Cynthia isn't on council next year, then somebody on council would most likely replace her.
okay, thank you for that. My vote is yes. Thank you.
Okay, motion carries.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you, and congratulations to Cynthia as our appointee to that body. Next up is approval of Resolution 2280, Gaming Commission Chair Appointment. And who is going to present on this, please?
You?
Me? Me? Buh. I have there is a draft resolution here, 2280, is that what we're talking about? And it essentially has a blank name in here that the Business Council does hereby appoint applicant name. And I do not have enough information about this matter to present on it.
President, is this to basically in accordance with our new ordinance that we had recently been approved of to get in line with that? That's my assumption.
That's what I was wondering, if that's what it
Yeah,
was.
so now, according to the new ordinance, we had to have a name associated with a title on our resolution.
We haven't picked them yet, though, have we?
But we haven't, have we picked someone? I don't recall any interviews or, oh, okay.
So now we need new resolutions for those people.
Oh, okay, so we're talking about the existing members. So who would be the chair of that gaming commission? Would that continue to be Lyle?
Yes, the gaming commission had a meeting and discussed it, and they voted for Lyle to be chairperson.
Okay.
And then I believe they voted for Lyle to be the chair, Kristen Cray as the vice chair, and Susie Kuno as the associate.
Oh, okay, that clarifies that. Cynthia, floor is yours.
The only question that I have, because if they're already seated, would these new appointments be for the remainder of their term in this capacity? Or would we have, from what I see here, we're reappointing them for a 4-year term,
I see what you're saying.
or 3-year term?
Right, so it would be for their appointed term. So we need to change the.
So the dates will
Right,
change?
right.
Okay.
Any other questions, folks?
I'll make a motion to approve Resolution 2280 to appoint Lyle Fields as the chairperson of the Gaming Commission with the changes being made to his term dates.
I'll second.
Oh, perfect.
Okay. I think we can just go through the same process that we have been and appoint them until then.
Okay, so where are we? Are we ready to vote, or any other comments? Call for the vote then, please, Carol.
Okay. Jordan Canuho,
Yes.
George Gardapi absent, Carol Chapman, yes, Cynthia Butler,
Yes.
Donna Hare,
Oh,
Gene Evans,
Yes.
Sammy Kimball.
Yes.
Okay, motion carries.
Thank you, council. Motion carries. So let's turn to the next one, Resolution 2282, Gaming Commission Associate Appointment. Then that would be Chris McCray. Oh, are we on 81? Oh, Bob. Are you? Yeah, you're right. 81. I stand corrected. And that would be the appointment of the vice chair for the Gaming Commission, who would be Chris McCray.
I'll make that motion.
Thank you.
I'll second.
Thank you. We have a motion and a second. Thank you for that. Unless there's any other comments? Hearing none, call for the vote, please.
Jordan Canuho,
Yes.
George Gardapi absent, Carol Chapman, yes. Cynthia Butler,
Yes.
Donna Hare,
Aho.
Gene Evans,
Yes.
Sammy Kimball.
Yes.
Thank you, council. Motion carries. Next up is Resolution 2282 for the appointment of the Susie Canuho as the Pawnee Gaming Commission associate.
I'll make that motion.
Thank you. Is there a second, please?
I'll second.
Thank you. We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, call for the vote, please.
Jordan Canuho,
Abstain.
George Gardapi absent, Carol Chapman, yes. Cynthia Butler,
Yes.
Donna Hare,
Aho.
Gene Evans,
Yes.
Sammy Kimball.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you, council. Motion carries. So next up is approval of Resolution 2283, Pawnee Nation Strategic Infrastructure Plan. And who is going to present on that?
I'll present on that.
Okay, welcome to the floor. The floor is yours, Executive Director Gover Littleson.
We had a meeting, this is during the time I was sick, so I apologize I wasn't there, but there was a call where Amy went over her presentation of her infrastructure plan, which I think is fantastic. And was there any questions about that? Were you able to review it? Did you have a good visit with Amy? Was there anything you wanted to discuss?
I would just say that we have, I fully agree, we have a very, very awesome strategic infrastructure plan. And I think it is entitled to full support by the council, you know, and as I mentioned the other evening, it's going to fulfill what I've been hoping for a while now, and that is a government-wide initiative to really go after this infrastructure money. We've got a wonderful plan, and we've got a lot of work ahead for us in the year 2023, you know, and I think that approval by this body of this plan will add strength and gravitas to that fundraising initiative, because it will demonstrate the full support by this body for what we're going to be doing in a big, big way next calendar year. So,
Right, and for the people online, the infrastructure plan, it is our water, air, energy, land, and roads plan, infrastructure-wise. And myself, planning, our DNRS team, housing, education, who am I missing? Was else in the room? In our Pawnee Business Council, we met with Amy for 2 days in person, and then myself and housing, DNRS, planning, we met with Amy for 2 months, going back and forth, giving updates, giving surveys, touring the reservation, taking pictures. We did in-depth analysis with her. So it was a well thought out plan, and it was a lot of time and effort, a lot of hours. So we're really excited about it.
yes, thank you for that. So council, are there any questions or comments? This is going to be a big undertaking of this council in the coming fiscal year.
Yeah, I have a question, President.
Sure.
I didn't get a chance to attend that meeting, and so one of the questions I have is that this plan here, once it's approved, how flexible is it after the approval? As Councilwoman Kimball mentioned, we have an election next year. I would assume, you know, everyone who's sitting here tonight will run for reelection and possibly get it, but in the event that we don't have the same members that are sitting here tonight, those council members that come on, if they had any ideas, or not even that, just 5 years down the road, is this a set in stone kind of plan, or is this, I mean, is this flexible once we go forward with it?
Right. This is one thing that if you, I'm saying this really for the people watching online. Whenever the PBC came together and did the planning for this, one of the things that we did together was we wanted to make sure that we were doing a plan that was institutionalized, meaning anybody that would come in for decades, re-elected officials, that they could not make it smaller than what we had made. Now, they could expand on it and make it better, but they could not restrict it and make it more of a self-serving political plan. It was truly for Pawnee Nation. So it is an institutionalized plan, and I'm really proud of the PBC that put guardrails on this plan just for that reason.
Any other questions or comments, folks? Sammy, floor is yours.
Thank you, President Cock. I would just like to commend the executive staff and Ms. Wilson for bringing everything together. I was very impressed with her ability, her oversight, her insight, expertise, everything. This is not her first rodeo, and I'm very proud of the work that's been done, and I would certainly support that. And I am happy that we do have guardrails surrounding it to where it's really comprehensive and very thorough, and I just am very proud of it. Thank you, Jen.
President?
Yes.
I would also like to say I give my full support to this because Sea Renewal, Amy Wilson's company, is very successful in working with other tribes. Not only does she work with us, she works with very large tribes with large holdings. So she did put together a very good plan, and I'm excited about it. Thank you all for spending a lot of time with her to help her put that together. That was a very well put together plan, and look forward to the future with it because it is truly a strategic guide. And when the money starts coming down, the infrastructure funds, the plan is ready, and it's just a matter now for her to write the grants now because we have decided now how we want to go. So I'm in full support of it too.
Thank you for that, Carol. Any other comments?
Just one more comment. I guess it's a question. So I assume that we'll approve this plan tonight. How will this information be sent out to the tribal members so they know the plan and they're fully aware of what we're trying to do going forward?
There are phases of this. The first phase is that there's going to be different surveys done. There's going to be different needs assessments done with our staff, with our the boots on the ground, the ones who are actually doing the work. Once we get more data data, what we have now, and then projected data, then we will start going out and doing needs assessments with the community and start bringing them in. But the first wave of this is really our own team, the people who know our back door, if you will. And so we'll have a timeline that we'll be presenting. In fact, it was in that plan. She has a timeline for everything. It's such a great plan. I mean, she times everything out. So, but the first phase is with our team, with our engineers, all of our professionals, and then we move into bringing the outside in to share with them what the plan is.
One of my thoughts was that I think it would be good to try to hold an internal summit where we can bring in all of the executive directors and the council and kind of go over in more detail the work that lays ahead. And it's important to do so because that plan calls for all of the division directors to align the work of their divisions to this plan because it is a government-wide initiative. And so the division directors are going to have to be very conversant with the plan to the extent, to the point that where they'll actually be aligning a lot of their goals and priorities and resources to furthering this plan as it affects them.
And another thing, if I may add, the plan also includes creating a task force. And that task force is going to be members from our utility commission, from our commissions with energy, land, water, roads, housing. And that task force is going to create all of the policies, bylaws that we need. So we have a lot of work we need to internally first, and then we'll bring it outwards. It's really about a 2.5 year plan.
Sammy,
Yeah,
floor is yours.
And Jen, it's important also to kind of quantify the plan in that we're calling it infrastructure and all that. Really, it's a business plan, okay?
Yes, very
And
much
we've
so.
not had that here at the nation. We've just kind of, sometimes are reactive rather than being proactive and such. And so this plan really sets the stage and gives us timelines and steps, and it really does bring everybody together, and it's really not working in silos, but actually flat, and everybody's got a vision and can see what everybody else is doing, which is really important to tie it all together and to drive that success. So I think it's really good.
I agree.
Yeah.
Thank you for that, Sammy. Having technical difficulties over here. Any other comments, folks? Hearing none, I'm looking for a motion to approve, please.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
Thank you, folks. We have a motion from Sammy and a second by Dr. Evans. Any further discussion? Hearing none, call for the vote, please.
Jordan Canuho,
Yes.
George Carter P. absent, Carol Chapman, yes. Cynthia Butler,
Yes.
Donna Hare, Gene Evans,
Yes.
Sammy Kimball.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you, council. Motion carries, and I thank you for that. We're setting a big task ahead of us, and that is to do nothing less than to plan out, fund, and build the infrastructure for our nation for the next couple generations here in probably an opportunity that will never come around again. And I'm so grateful to our council and Amy Wilson to enable us the nation to rise to this challenge, to take full advantage of those dollars that are out there. Okay. Next item is review of the Pawnee Nation Housing Authority annual performance report. And who's going to present on that?
I think George wasn't he?
Should we table that to give them an
Table
opportunity?
it till George gets here. I'll
Okay.
make a motion to table it.
Okay. Is there a second, please?
I'll second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to table this to give the Housing Authority and Secretary Gardapi an opportunity to present on that. Cynthia?
All it was is just to let the council know that it's been approved by the commission and that they're submitting to us to let us for review. They set it out on the table for 2 weeks for anybody who wants to come by and look at the ARP, and then they submit it to HUD. So I think they were just, it's a notice that they're doing that, and then it'll be approved by HUD after this. So it's on the table, and if anybody wants to go down to housing to look at it, I think it's in the packet. So, but that's all it was, and they attached their budget with it.
Oh, is it in our packet this evening?
It is.
So to that extent, we are on notice then, if you want to go by and
So there was no approval or anything of it, I don't think, because it's already been approved by their commission.
Oh,
So,
okay.
just withdraw my,
So there's no action on
No.
our part?
It's just, it sounds like notice and review opportunity if we so choose. So I do think it would be appropriate, given that info, to withdraw the motion to table.
okay. Make a motion to withdraw that, my motion.
Okay, thank you, Cynthia, for letting us know what this is all about. Moving on, next item is approval of Resolution 22-84, new members. And
I'll do it.
Jennifer, the floor is yours.
The Nashara Council met on December 17th, this past Saturday, with our enrollment director, Ms. Carey, and we have 6 new applications for enrollment. They were reviewed and approved by the Nashara Council by Resolution 22-09 for submission to the Pawnee Business Council for their approval. And you'll see on the resolution, Resolution 22-84 has the names of the applicants.
Is that 84 or 85?
84.
84. Okay. Thank you for that. And Council, are there any questions, comments?
Don't you usually name them?
Do we say the names?
I'd like to name them, but should we do it now or after we approve it?
Approval.
After they approve, okay. Okay.
I'll make a motion to approve.
I'll second.
Okay, thank you. Call for the vote if you would, Secretary.
Okay.
Treasurer Chapman.
Okay. Jordan Canuho,
Yes.
George Carter P. absent, Carol Chapman, yes, Cynthia Butler,
Yes.
Donna Hare,
Uh-huh.
Gene Evans,
Yes.
Sammy Kimball.
Yes.
Motion
Thank you.
carries.
Motion carries, and I'd like to welcome the following individuals to the Pawnee Nation as our members. These are folks who will be the future of our nation. Maven Taylor Jim, Scarlett Lucinda Webb, Genevieve Lynn Webb, Oscar Wayne Shaw, Isla Noel Miller, and Preston Renee Keating. And I thank the Nashara Council for their work in bringing these new members to our Pawnee Nation. And these applicants will be added to our membership roll. Moving on, the next resolution is 2285, deceased members. And Jennifer, are you going to present on that as well?
Yes. On December 17th, the enrollment director, Ms. Carey, met with the Nashara Council, bringing 8 names of deceased, 7 deceased tribal members, and notification of one tribal member passing since the enrollment committee meeting. So that's why there was a total of 8. And that was passed by our Nashara Council.
Thank you for that. Folks, are there any questions or comments on this motion?
I'll make a motion to approve.
Thank you for that. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Excellent. We do have a motion. Any comments on this?
Could you read the names of those that we've lost?
Yes, I will. It's always a sad occasion, to approve a resolution with regard to our departed relatives here. And so I want to extend my condolences to the families of Thomasine Pratt Neff, Robert Lewis Fields Sr., Stanley Eugene Fields, George Elton Howe, Taylor LeJohn Kent, Jeremy David Webb, Edward Floyd Pratt, and Robin Jones Partridge. And so I know that we have these families in mourning, and it's always very difficult over our holiday season, especially this time of year. Okay, so I guess the motion carries, is that correct? I've lost the thread.
We didn't.
Oh, we didn't vote yet, that's right, okay. So with that, I'm looking for a motion to approve this, please, folks.
I'll make that motion.
Call for the vote.
Oh, I'm sorry. Jordan is my parliamentarian tonight. Carol, would you please call for the vote, please?
Okay. Jordan Canuho.
Yes.
George Gardapi, absent. Carol Chapman, yes. Cynthia Butler.
Yes.
Donna Hare.
Aho.
Gene Evans.
Yes.
Sammy Kimball.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you, council. Motion carries. Now we have approval of Resolution 22-86, conditional relinquishment. And looking at that, we have a tribal member, Sean Taylor Williams, who is seeking, asking us to accept a conditional relinquishment for the Pawnee Nation, and would be removed from our membership role on the condition of him being accepted with membership with the United Kituwa Band of the Cherokee Indians. So thank you, folks, the Sherrill Council, for putting this together. Any comments on this, questions on this, folks?
I'll make the motion to approve Resolution 2286.
Thank you. Donna, is there a second, please?
I'll second.
Thank you for that, Sammy. Okay, we have a motion on the floor with a second. Is there, unless there's any other discussion or on this, I'd like to, I'm looking for a motion to approve, please. God, did I mess up again?
Call for the vote.
Sky, could I get a cup of coffee with cream and sugar, please? I'm going goofy here. Call for the vote, please, Secretary Chapman. Acting Secretary Chapman.
Jordan Canuho.
Yes.
George Gardapi, absent. Carol Chapman, yes. Cynthia Butler.
Yes.
Donna Hare.
Aho.
Gene Evans.
Yes.
Sammy Kimball.
Yes.
Carries.
Thank you, council. Motion carries. And then we have a second relinquishment, a conditional relinquishment at Resolution 22-87 involving Paula Jean Lime asking for the same relief on the condition of her being accepted with the absentee Shawnees. Any questions or comments on this resolution, folks?
I'll make the motion to accept it.
I'll
Thank-
second.
Thank you for that motion, Sammy, and thank you for your second, Carol. Unless there are any comments on this? Oh, I'm sorry, what did I do now? Oh.
Did you make it double strong?
Okay, so we have a motion and a second on the floor. Unless there is any other comments or questions, call for the vote, please.
Jordan Canuho.
Yes.
George Gardapi, absent. Carol Young, yes. Carol Chapman, Young. Cynthia Butler.
Yes.
Donna Hare.
Aho.
Gene Evans.
Yes.
Sammy Kimball.
Yes.
Thank you, council. Motion carries. So next up is approval of Resolution 22-88, conditional relinquishment. In this instance, Catherine Louise Williams is asking for a conditional relinquishment on the condition of being accepted for membership in the absentee Shawnees. And are there any questions or comments on this motion or resolution, please?
I'll make a motion. to
Thank
approve
you,
it.
Vice President. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Thank you, Councilman Evans. Any discussion? Hearing none, call for the vote, please.
Jordan Canuho.
Yes.
George Gardapi, absent. Carol Chapman, yes. Cynthia Butler.
Yes.
Donna Hare.
Aho.
Gene Evans.
Yes.
Sammy Kimball.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Excellent. Thank you, council. Motion carries. Next up is approval of Resolution 22-89, Intertribal Buffalo Council membership and dues. And
President, if I could, I just wanted to interject. Just, I was just thinking as we were finishing that section, and knowing that those of our tribe who passed and we're lessened from the loss of those members of our tribe. In our experience and our spirit, but also actually in our numbers. And I think it's important to say again, for another quarter, our people have decreased in number. We're not in a growing situation here, we're shrinking. And I just wanted to say that I'm so proud these folks who came in and our new numbers that are here, but it is a concern. I think I feel like we're on the cusp of doing good things, doing maybe great things, but we have to grow. So I just wanted to say that. I'm sorry to interrupt there.
no, thank you for that, because it is a concern. I think if we stay on this trajectory, we're heading towards the way of the buffalo, which is our next item here. But hopefully we can address that in the Constitutional Convention. So, okay, so we do have now pending before us this Resolution 2289. And I wanted to just note on the resolution that it's got a blank space in terms of the representative that we will be designated, and so I think we need to fill in some blanks. But Sammy, are you going to present on this?
Yes, I am.
Okay, I'll turn the floor over to you. Thank you.
President. Yes, thank you, President Eckelhawk. Thank you, council and members that have joined us. We had a Daraha meeting several weeks ago. Jimmy Justice asked me to come in, and I invited our treasurer, Carol Chapman Young, to join me because I thought it had to do with money or what have you, so I wanted her presence in there. As it turns out, they being he and Sonny Evans have done a lot of work in trying to get that project going. As you all recall, back in late fall, we pushed back and quit negotiating with the opportunity in Kansas just because the scope was just bigger than we were. And so they've been working diligently in trying to not only grow our cattle business, but also this Daraha business as well. So they've been going around, and they went down to Perkins, to the Iways, who have a program set up. They also went up to Quapaw, who also have a program set up. They visited several food processing ventures as well that are held by nations within our communities. They were also asked to join the ITBC, which is the Intertribal Buffalo Council. Today, I believe the scope is 78 tribal nations are members of this organization. The annual fee is $1,000 to be a member. The role of the ITBC was established by its members to act as a facilitator in coordinating education and training programs and developing marketing strategies, etc. They have technical assistance that's given to all of their members. They coordinate the transfer of surplus buffalo from national parks and wildlife refuges within the tribal lands and throughout the nation. So they're able to acquire buffalo to bring to us and to develop our herds, if you will. They also help in developing sound management plans to help each buffalo herd become successful and self-sufficient. And I think that Jimmy, I have not ever seen Jimmy Justice as excited as I saw him in that meeting. It was really refreshing, very happy, very on to do this for the nation. I'm reading this because I can't find my notes. Anywho's, so this ITBC is able to assist the tribes. We're able to get technical assistance. They even provide assistance with the inoculations, and just they vet everything. They are just a really good, sound program that has the experience of not only taking care of the Raha, but also in breeding and what have you. So I bring this to council today. We had an emergency meeting this afternoon at noon with the Daraha committee. This was passed unanimously by them to accept this membership. They want to move forward with it. Again, the fee is $1,000. It does require a resolution by our nation. And then once we pay the fee, it will go to their board for their resolution as well at their next quarterly meeting. So that's my proposal tonight. Carol mentioned that we do have funding available through the Ag Department, and this is really going to enhance the Ag because they also do grant writing, and there's just a lot of goodness with it. So that's what I wanted to bring this evening for it.
Thank you, Sammy. That's certainly good news, and we do have the money in the budget. It's burning a hole in my pocket. Gosh, I think this is a great idea. So, folks, are there any comments or questions here?
I would just like to say I was in that meeting, and to become a member, the technical assistance that we would receive would just be unbelievable. Right, and they actually know the grants, and they help you write the grants because their TA people help you do that. So it's worth every bit of it. And it was exciting to see Sonny and Jimmy so excited. And we already know where, what, when, how, everything. So we're ready, and it's a great thing to do, to make it become a reality. It wouldn't be very many at first, just a few, but at least we would have
I think they're going to start with 10.
You know, along that same line, when I was in Washington, D.C., Jennifer and I, we met with the head of the Park Service, and he's an Indian guy from a Umatilla Reservation, Charles Sams. And so we had a nice meeting with him on our NAGPRA funding issue, but we do have an inroad, I think, with them at this time. My wife grew up on the same reservation.
Oh, nice. Okay.
And if we're going to be getting the surplus buffalo possibly whenever we're ready from the Park Service, well, we do have an in.
And also from the different tribes. You know, they also share and as they're calving, they donate to others because you're very limited with what you actually can control, right?
Right.
So,
excellent.
Thank you very much. And I'd like
yes,
to make the motion to accept that on behalf of this committee.
Okay. We do have a motion, folks. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Thank you, Dr. Evans, for the second.
Cynthia.
Any comments on this, Cynthia?
I just have a recommendation for the resolution because it says on the last whereas the Pawnee Business Council desires to be the member, but wouldn't it be the Pawnee Nation desires to be the member?
Yes.
So the Pawnee Nation desires for the Pawnee Nation to be a member of the intertribal.
Yes, and I would recommend also that the representative be James Justice, and the alternate would be Sonny Evans, Jessica Evans, as they are that ag team, and they're very cognizant of what's going on, and I just think it's important to keep them in line. Thank you. So any other changes, go for it, Cynthia. Whatever we need to do to make it happen.
Okay, so then the motion would be to designate Jimmy Justice as the delegate then, and also Sonny Evans, Jessica Evans as the alternate. Is that your motion, Sammy?
Correct.
Okay.
I hate naming people like that because then later on we have to go in and change it. That's the only thing that I don't really care for that. I would say let's just can't we get rid of that? Do we have to designate people?
Yeah, for this you have to, because they take.
Okay, all right. Thank you.
I know that we have been favoring elected officials, but, I don't know that that's a necessity, and I do see the wisdom of
Yeah.
Jimmy and Jessica
I
here.
really want those with the expertise to be involved in all that.
It makes good sense.
Thank you.
Any other comments, folks? Okay, so we have a motion, do we? And a second. So with that, unless there's any other comments or questions, call for the vote, please, Carol.
Jordan Canuho,
Yes.
George Gardapi absent, Carol Chapman, yes. Cynthia Butler,
Yes.
Donna Hare,
Aho.
Gene Evans,
Yes.
Sammy Kimball.
Yes. And President Eckhart, can I add, after
Yes.
you're done, I need to add something else to this.
Go ahead.
Thank you. I just would like to bring everybody aware of the conversation that we did have relative to our cattle business during this meeting with Jimmy and Sonny. And as you know, we've gone through extreme droughts, and water is very limited and very precious right now, particularly for the livestock and such that rely on rain. They're kind of struggling a little bit. In fact, we're trying to find feed for them now. Hey, everybody that has cattle here in Pawnee County is doing the same thing right now. We've got inclement weather coming in, freezing, blizzard statuses and such. So I just ask that you pray for our cattle and our team that's out there feeding and watering them and such. And I think Jimmy was trying to coordinate some hay to come in from Kansas, and he was in work with that because it's very limited here. The supply chain within our regional area. So I just asked for that, that we keep our cattle in prayer and those men and women that are taking care of them for us.
Thank you. That's, I'm going to put the cows in my prayers.
I hope you do. Yeah.
When was it? Last year, or was it the year before? There was a really, really cold, protracted 10 or 12 days that we went through. And Jimmy and them went out every day and trudged through the snow and ice, and we didn't lose any cattle.
Right.
But
Right.
we're looking at this starting up this weekend, real frigid weather.
Yes,
So
and I just got a text from James Rice that we just got a check from the drought relief from the U.S. government today. So hopefully that might be able to be used, to help. And also, Jimmy said that they estimate, we just got a bull in. What was his name? Archie. Archie's here. Archie's here. They went down and brought Archie back up, and he's in Merrimack with all the girls.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah. And they anticipate, honestly, he anticipates, I don't know how many calves in the springtime. I think he said we were going to go from 400 to like 600.
do we know how many we have?
It's almost 400 we have now, isn't it?
Yeah,
300
it's almost it's like 364 or something like
Yeah,
that.
we have
but
a lot of
he
cattle.
anticipates almost 600. And Archie, his offspring are going to be unique in that they're going to have like stripes in them.
Oh, yes.
So it's going to be very
Yes.
cool. Yeah.
All right for Archie.
He's a
what?
Brahma. He's a Brahma. Yeah, he's a big guy. Uh-huh. Archie. I couldn't believe they named him. It's pretty cute. Yeah. Yeah. He went and got Archie.
Oh my
I love it.
gosh.
I love it. Anywho, so when you see those calves in the springtime and they have little stripes, those are Archie's babies.
Oh, God.
It's kind of cool. Thank you very much, everybody, for supporting that initiative.
All right, thank you. Okay, so next item is election committee appointments. I believe it's 22-90. I do not have that in my material here, but who can present on that, please?
So I know that we did interviews, which I wasn't able to attend, but it's necessary that we get the election commission positions filled before January, so they can start, that's when they start their process of the election. So there were 3 people who applied, and we have to appoint these by position. So we have a chair position, a secretary position, and a sergeant at arms. And if you don't mind, I'd like to make a recommendation for the chair, and then you guys can, however you guys want to do the other 2. But Cecilia Hawkins has been the chairperson before, and so she's knowledgeable and she has the expertise. She's ran a couple of elections at different times throughout the years, so I would just like to make that recommendation to appoint her as the chairperson. And we'll make the motion to approve Resolution 2290 for the chair to be Cecilia Hawkins for the Election Commission.
Excellent. Folks, is there a second?
I second.
Thank you for the second, Councilwoman here. Any discussion on this, please, folks, or comments? Hearing none, call for the vote, please. Secretary Treasurer Chapman.
Okay. Jordan Canuho,
Yes.
George Gardapi, absent. Carol Chapman, yes. Cynthia Butler,
Yes.
Donna Hare,
Aho.
Gene Evans,
Yes.
Sammy Kimball.
Yes.
Thank you, Council. Resolution carries, and congratulations to Ms. Hawkins, and appreciate her interest and her expertise. Next up is the resolution related to the secretary of that same body, and is that Resolution 2291?
And I think the other 2 that were requesting to be on this commission was Leah Vanoy and Catherine Moore. And I think Catherine was actually the alternate. So if we could bump her up to one of the other positions, and then we can advertise for the alternate in the process of them going ahead and getting started. Do you guys know which one you want to put in for secretary? That's the next resolution.
Both are very awesome. Sammy?
Yeah, I think they're both awesome. I would really like to see Leah get that opportunity this time around. She brings in a lot of expertise from, her history and in police departments and such. I just think it's just really a good fit.
Yes, and she had a wonderful interview too, very strong interview.
Very strong.
Well, I'll make that motion to approve Resolution 2291 for the secretary position of the Election Commission to appoint Leah Vanoy.
I'll second.
that.
Thank you. We have a motion and a second. Unless there's any other discussion here? Hearing none, call for the vote, please.
Jordan Canuho,
Yes.
George Gardapi, absent. Carol Chapman, yes. Cynthia Butler,
Yes.
Donna Hare,
Abstain.
Gene Evans,
Yes.
Sammy Kimball.
Yes.
Thank you, council. Motion carries. Next up is, I think it's 2292. And tell me again what this is, which Sergeant at Arms. Okay, and so Cynthia, please continue on with that. Thank you.
I'll make the motion to approve Resolution 2292 to appoint the Sergeant at Arms as Catherine Moore to the Election Commission.
Excellent, folks. Thank you for that. Is there a second?
Yes, I second.
Okay. Thank you, Donna, for your second. Any discussion on the pending motion, folks? Hearing none, call for the vote, please.
Jordan Canuho,
Yes.
George Gardapi absent, Carol Chapman, yes, Cynthia Butler,
Yes.
Donna Hare,
Aho.
Gene Evans,
Yes.
Sammy Kimball.
Yes.
Thank you, council. Motion carries, so I want to send out my congratulations to Leah and Kat for these appointments as well. So with that, brings us to open forum, and I see we do have tribal members here, and one of them is flapping her wings. So, Auntie, the floor is yours. The floor is yours. Ann Collins.
Let's see.
The winner gets to have Archie.
Yay. All right. Let's blame Cynthia.
Jamie.
Jamie.
Over.
Jamie Shaw.
Oh, cool. Yay.
We made $33 off of this and one IOU. IOU, I'm not going to tell you who, but his initials are DR.
DR.
And, okay, now I have some other things to tell you all. Okay, the elders and the travelers had a Christmas dinner the other day, and I got some volunteers, well, not really volunteers, I got some donations from people to pay for the meal. And the people that donated, Jeff White from TP Smoke Shop, tribal member. J.R. Thompson from the Yale Tag Agency, he's a member of TDC. First Bank and Trust in Pawnee, Armstrong Bank in Pawnee, we're the Buffalo Rome in Pawnee, and Pawnee Lumber Company. They donated enough money that we paid for the meal.
Oh, wonderful.
Awesome.
Everybody had a good time. The travelers and others donated the desserts and most of the drawings for door prizes. And just about everybody won a door prize. Karen. And now, today, we were supposed to have this drawing at noon over at Title VI, but I was late getting into town, and we really hadn't sold very many tickets, so I told Mary Faye, let's wait and do it tonight here. Give you all a chance to buy a ticket. And thank you. Now, when I got over to Title VI today, like I said, I was late. I understand that the coordinator, lady in charge, whatever, had made a statement to everybody, because one of the guys asked, well, Ann's supposed to have a drawing today. And she stated that Ann wasn't a part of Title VI, and that I wouldn't be holding any raffle ticket drawings over there. Is this true, Jennifer? So I am or am not a part of Title VI, and I am or am I not allowed to have raffle ticket drawings there? I can't hear you. Well, that's all I know, but I was told.
Well, come see me tomorrow and talk, okay?
Tomorrow.
Yes. Come see me to my office tomorrow, and let's talk about this, so I can get more information.
Can you meet her in town? It's going to be cold. You want her to meet you in town somewhere? You want Jennifer to meet you somewhere?
Well,
Ann?
if she wants to.
I think it needs to be talked about. She wants to talk to you, but she wants to take it offline.
Well, we've talked about a lot of things.
Yeah, but also I need to talk to the staff and find out really, find out both sides what's going on. Okay?
Well, I've been the main, what do you call it? Fundraiser for several years now. And nobody had a problem with me. In fact, I'm getting a terrible reputation. Somebody said, I'm gonna see Ann, so I better have some dollar bills in my pocket. But anyway, and I like selling tickets and everything. If I can't use that as my home base, well.
Okay, we'll talk and we'll figure it out, okay? You and I will talk together.
Okay, and maybe I can get an update on my other concerns. I will get an update tomorrow on my other concerns. Okay. All right.
See you tomorrow.
Okay. And once again, thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Well, thank you.
I'm gonna get rid of it. Now I have to haul it back home and bring it to the counter to get it tomorrow. I know.
Thank you, Annie. I appreciate that. And Karen, I see your hand is up. I'd like to turn the floor over to Sister Karen Heyman. Hey, oh.
I like the meeting tonight. I'm usually watching on YouTube. I'm glad I came tonight. Everything was really good that you discussed. And a lot of it, I really agree with it and stand by your guys' decisions. My question is dealing with the cattle company. When the time comes and if the buffalo roam here at Pawnee, is the Pawnee individual tribal tracts of land and Pawnee Nation land going to be utilized to put these buffalo on property of individuals or tribal?
It'll be tribal.
Yeah.
It'll be tribal lands. May I?
Yeah, sure.
So we've acquired a big section of Merrimack. You know, I think it's, how many?
1,120 acres.
120?
1,100.
1,120 acres in Merrimack. It's like a mile square, right? That's where our cattle's at today. Unfortunately, the Tahara don't do well with cattle, so you have to have it separated. So what Jimmy Justice is proposing right now is we also procured some land that belonged to the Waters property. We call it the Waters property off Catholic Bridge over here, off the road there, and that's where they're considering to use that land. There's certain specifications for buffalo, and I never knew it. You have to have different fencing. You've got the ground's got to be, you know.
That's what I was going to mention is that Gary Ahady contacted me, about 7 months ago. because the highways are getting buffalo.
They already have it.
They just wanting to know if I know of any individuals or companies dealing with the same thing, because Buffalo has to have different fencing, there's different gates that's got to be put up. And this is a Charlie Hare's, Donna's husband, some of her relatives up at Yankton. That's what they do. They put up fencing and stuff. I believe they did put a bid in with the highways to help them.
That's
They
why
get all
we're,
that information. But, like I said, I was just wondering if any of the individual Pawnee people was going to be involved in housing the buffalo. But like you said,
No.
you've already purchased land for that.
well, we have tribal land available to us, but we did take the opportunity to get the,
Could be considered, or maybe,
yeah,
you know, well, that's another thing. I just wondered if.
And then
there
our-
are people like me, I own land.
Mhm.
I'd sure like to have some buffalo on my land.
Yeah.
And get a lease with you guys.
yeah, well,
But, you
and,
know, if you don't consider and you want to use Pawnee Nation
Mm-hmm.
land and buy land, when we've got individuals you could have utilized.
well, we have tribal land at stake, but one of the things that we discussed was even the chutes. Everything is very expensive, and it's a whole lot different than having a chute for cattle and having a chute for buffalo. And I think they estimated that was $60,000 just for the chute alone. So we want to keep them, confined to one area. And the land that we've proposed is going to be at the Waters property that we own right down Catholic Road. And eventually, we have our eye on all of the Waters property, all the way to the Y, is really something that we'd like to do. And I think in collaboration with the highways and what have you, that's why we are joining that organization tonight, because they are a part of that, and they will be helping us define and design and implement that project. So I thank you for that. I think it's a great idea, but unfortunately, they just can't just be put out on a pasture and left to roam. You got to move them.
Like I said, I read up on it, and, you know, Perry had already explained a lot of the stuff to me 6 months ago about.
Sure, but I've been on this project for a year and a half.
Yeah, you got, well, I know, I think Morgan had something to do with it.
Yeah.
also. But
So,
anyway, I was just wondering.
Yeah.
If any of the tribal land individual would be utilized, but apparently not. So
I'm-
that's answering my
yeah, not at this moment anyways, but thank you for that. It's a great question. Great question.
We need help too.
I would think that down the road, if we use up all of our available space, that it's always possible that we could lease individual Pawnee land down the road whenever that need arises, so sometime.
You're looking out for the Pawnee people if you do that, because right now you're not. You're looking out for the tribe. You're not doing nothing for the people.
Well, we're doing a lot for the people.
By-
I have to argue that, because we're doing a lot for the people, because eventually we are going to be able to have beef, meat, processed,
Well,
buffalo
that's another
meat
thing on that
processed and
beef.
such.
What was that cattle bought with? What monies? Was it federal money?
ARPA funding for food sustainment.
Because if I'm not mistaken, you can't sell products or produce or anything if you purchase items with federal funds.
That's correct.
So when a cattle gets to go to the market, these calves grow up and stuff, you take them to the market, they get sold and stuff like that. And if you're planning on having place where they're gonna be butchered and stuff like that. You can't sell them.
No, they're for the people.
That's what I mean. You can't
It's for
sell
the
that
people.
stuff.
It's food for the people. Food sustainment, right? Just like when you drove up and got your meat over here at that building, it's the same situation. We're not going to sell it.
Okay, because a lot of people have the, have the idea that they're gonna be sold.
No.
And again,
No.
that's why I wish the paper would hurry up, come out, because items, information like
I
that
know.
needs to be in the paper.
I agree.
So people like me will understand.
I
and know.
agree.
And I wouldn't be here asking questions.
Right. I
Because
agree.
it's in the paper.
Where's that paper?
And a lot of people's been telling me.
Where's the paper?
Where's the paper? Where's the paper? I said, heck, it's been going on 34 years now. I have no idea. You're gonna have to contact the administration about that, because I have no
Right.
idea. But like I said, that paper is so important. People don't get on the internet.
Yeah. So,
There's a lot of them like me don't get on the internet.
so Karen, and getting back to the cattle, that is the intent also is, after we have our calving in the springtime, there are going to be heads that are sold, okay? That is not made with ARPA money, that's from Archie, okay? And we're going to be able to sell some of that as revenue. It's revenue generating business, okay? That's what we're trying to do, is bring in revenue. And what is the best way us to bring in revenue? That's one way of doing it. Outside of gaming and developing a business model that has other revenue generation outside of gaming, and that cattle operation is one of them. And it's called the 4B, Pawnee Nation Cattle Company. 4B, 4 bands. It's very cool. And that is it being marketed now. I think it's pretty neat. Yeah.
And we're going to be able to butcher for?
Yeah.
Didn't you say we're going to be able to butcher for our dinners?
Yeah. For feasts, for ceremonials and all of that. We'll have that available. And for the people. We're expanding, and I think it's going to be 2/3 of our population is being looked at for the spring. We're anticipating that for springtime. Yeah. That's right, exactly.
I know you're a kid. I know people raise cattle. Get around them. Yeah, you do. I know you do.
And we've also been in collaboration with Oto's. We've been in collaboration. Yeah. Well, I don't. I'm just on the business end of it, right, that spectrum. But we've collaborated with the Oto's, the Quapaws, the Iways, the Osages. There's a whole conglomeration of people. In fact, we even have Pawnees down in Yale that actually do meat processing that we could potentially use as well, outside of Quapaws or Osages. I want to stay right within our own and benefit our own folks. Yes. Yes. So, those are some great questions. That's some really good questions.
Yeah, but that's good that you're networking with this organization, being we're so far behind everybody else. And like this, they've all been established for like 10, 12 years.
I don't know that.
Which is good, after networking and doing what you need to do. That's good to hear, because, like I said,
yeah,
we got to think of our people. I mean, I might be gone 20 years from now, hopefully not, longer. And I've got great grandkids.
Sure.
That are on the road, that some of this money that come in, it didn't even get to them. And they're on the road, because they live 5 miles out of the jurisdiction.
So do I. I'm outside
So,
jurisdiction too.
Anyway, that's another thing. But I'm so glad that, you guys are doing that.
We're doing our best. We're doing our best.
That's a good question. When you when you butcher, are you gonna give it to all enrolled Pawnees or just us living in the jurisdiction?
That is not my call.
Who's calling?
We'll cross that bridge when we get there. We'll cross that bridge when we get there. Right now, we are just trying to increase our cattle head right now.
I'm the only one in my immediate family that lives.
Well, I'm not in jurisdiction either, so, yeah, I hear you. I hear your pain. And it's okay, you know, I mean, I would hope that it would be for anybody that could get here. That would be my hope, you know. It's for someone that lives on the East Coast, West Coast, you know, Washington, whatever, it's unfortunate, but, you know, we can't ship it, so we're just kind of going to do what we can do, and we're just defining that model right now, so we don't know. But it was some good questions from you too, Karen. Appreciate you. And who knows, we might expand that. I mean, that cattle operation in Merrimack is really, that was what it was designed for. It was purchased for, was for cattle, and it's just a really good land base for them because it's got lots of minerals and real rich for them to sustain them. But we're going to get into winter time, and we got to be worried about all of those that are out there. So, thank you very much. I hope I answered your question best I could. If you have more questions, I would ask that you contact Jimmy Justice yourself. I'm sure he'd be happy to.
Is he not going to be in property longer?
He has his hands full right now because his true love really, and his expertise is in ag. That's how he was raised. He gets it. He knows it like the back of his hand. And he's excited for it, and I'm sure that the property division will, you know, that would be up to our executive director and her business model. So that's coming down the pipe as well. He's got his hands full, that's for sure. Thank you very much.
Thank you, ladies. Idati, Gary, you got any comments? Okay. Well, is there anyone online, Jamie or Erica, that would like to address the council during the open forum? Okie dokie. Well, this brings us to executive session. May I have a motion to go into executive session, please?
I'll make that motion.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Thank you. We have a motion and a second. Call for the vote, please.
Jordan Canuho,
Yes.
George Carter, be absent. Carol Chapman, yes. Cynthia Butler,
Yes.
Donna Hare,
Aho.
Gene Evans,
Yes.
Sammy Kimball.
I actually have a question because I didn't even see executive session on there. I thought we handled this at the last meeting to where we followed the normal process of Supreme Court justices to apply. And that was the recommendation. I thought that was the email that was sent from Vice President Canuho to the executive staff to let them know that we're following with the process. Just a letter of intent, and then it comes to the council, we make the appointment by resolution, and boom, we're off and going.
Yes.
Yeah,
the way you explained it is the way I understood it too.
Okay, so is that the same thing that we're dealing with tonight? Because sorry, I just happened to pull my agenda back out. Yeah, it's the same agenda item as the last time. So I don't understand why we would need to go into executive session. Right. We can just take care of it, correct? Right. And you guys, and so we received their letters of appointment, and we have the resolutions. Okay, so we don't even need to go into executive session.
Perfect.
Okay, just making sure. Sorry, guys.
Wait, I wanted to call. No. I'm just teasing.
So, can we withdraw the motion then? Or did we have a motion?
We can amend the agenda.
Oh, are we already?
Oh, did it?
Okay.
Let's vote to come out.
I don't think we voted, did we?
I don't think we voted.
We didn't vote.
We just had a first
We
and
didn't
a
vote. That's what we did.
and
We
a
didn't
second.
vote.
If we didn't vote, then we could either table it or withdraw it.
When it comes back to the agenda, we'll be approving resolutions to make those appointments. We don't have to go into executive session for it.
Well, if that's the wishes of this body, then we could go ahead and dispense with it tonight. Okay, unless there's any objection, we'll just dispense and go to the next item, which is set the next meeting date. Folks, what are your wishes? Next year, I presume?
Maybe.
Maybe.
If nothing financial comes up, we're still doing
budget call, huh?
I'm sorry, I have a question. Because are we going to have another meeting for the budget item, or do we need to just do a continuing resolution?
We can do a continuing resolution.
It's
We
up
have
to
a
you.
lot. We're
Yeah.
still chopping at that thing.
We don't want to be like the federal government.
Yeah.
But we could do a continuing resolution for 30 more days for January 30th, but, just run as normal until we get the approvals.
Yeah, that'd be okay for just 30 days, because we want to have a final balanced budget.
'Cause it's gonna be
Approve
busy.
the balanced budget
Yeah.
again.
Because it's going to be pretty busy at the end of
Yeah, and
last week.
we're kind of running out of days here anyhow, because tribe's going to be closed, got the party, got the storm. So a continuing resolution for 30 days only?
Should we do that tonight? Amend our agenda for the purpose of adding a motion for a continuing resolution on the budget for 30 days?
30 days.
Would you like to make that motion?
I'll make that motion.
I'll second it.
Okay.
And it's going to be 2293.
Okay. Yes.
2293.
Okay, folks, so we have a motion on the floor with a second for a continuing resolution for 30 days on our budget. And is there any questions or concerns? Hearing none, call for the vote, please.
Jordan Canuho,
Yes.
George Goddard P. absent, Carol Chapman, yes. Cynthia Butler,
Yes.
Donna Hare, Gene Evans,
Yes.
Sammy Kimball.
Yes.
Thank you, council. Motion carries. And so, do we want to then set a date then for our next business council meeting?
I'll make a motion to approve Resolution 2293
wow.
to extend the tribal budgets to approve a continuing resolution until January 31st.
I'll second.
I'll back. Okay, we have the resolution and a second. Call for the vote, please.
Jordan Canuho,
Yes.
George Goddard P. absent, Carol Chapman, yes. Cynthia Butler,
Yes.
Donna Hare,
Oh.
Gene Evans,
Yes.
Sammy Kimball.
Yes.
Thank you, council. Motion carries. And so now the next item is to set the next meeting date. What are your wishes, folks? My thought is sometime early next year, first half of January.
Can we propose, Donna, how's your teaching look?
I'm open for the first Tuesday.
What?
And then I go
Oh, very good. Okay, how about Tuesday the 3rd? 5:30?
That's as good as any a date. Is that open, folks?
That's good for me.
January the 3rd?
Okay.
5:30, same time? Folks, does that work for you? Okay. 5:30 it is, January 3. Okay, with that brings us to adjournment. May I have a motion to adjourn, please?
I'll make a motion.
I'll second.
Okay, call for the vote, please. Carol?
Jordan Canuho,
Yes.
George Carter P. absent, Carol Chapman, yes, Cynthia Butler,
Yes.
Donna Hare,
I hope.
Gene Evans,
Yes.
Sammy Kimball.
Yes.
Thank you, council. I wish everyone a blessed holiday season. Be safe and be healthy, and we'll see you next year. And with that, we are dismissed. Thank you
Merry
all
Christmas.
very much. Thanks to the staff and tribal members that are here. Good evening.
Anytime.